Folklore of black cats vary from culture to culture, but in Western civilization, black cats can range from being witches to bad omens to just bad luck. How do we know if that is true? Anyways, grab a blanket, turn off your lights, and see if tonight we'll come encounter with a black cat. The Black Cat. When I was younger, I liked to go under the cocoa. I still do. There are many trees up there, but there is one that blossoms very often, twice yearly. This is the plum tree. I love plums. One day I went to pick some. I think it was a Sunday and plum season was coming to an end. I picked what I could eat and ate them on the tree. When I came down, I saw a black cat. I had never seen a cat so black in my life. Did not even have a speck of white or any other color, just completely black. When I saw it, I said, "Oh no," because I knew if my three beautiful cats saw that black cat, it would be dead meat. So I threw a stone at it to frighten it so that it could run off for its own safety. But in return, I was the one that got frightened. When I threw the stone at it, it ran into the bushes, so I waited to see if it would come out to frighten it again. But instead, the stone I threw was thrown back behind me. I ran down to my house in fright. Luckily, the house was close, so I did not fall while running to break anything. Was the stone really thrown by the cat? I may never know, but I know it was not someone because the bushes were too thick, and even if it was, I would have seen them. The three cats I used to own died. One of them was older than me. It was a year older than me. It died at the age of 11. The other two cats was its sons. I can't remember when they died. I have two cats now. They are the descendants of the three that died. May 16th is one of my cat's birthday. It will be 3 and my cousin's birthday is 2 days away. Ghostly black cats. Having read many stories about ghost animals, I thought I would share mine about my ghost cat. When I was a small child, my parents and I lived with my grandfather in his house. It was a big Edwardian detached house in the southeast of England and had been in our family a while, as it has been built by my great-grandfather. When I was about 2 or 3 years old, I would insist on my mother taking me up the stairs to bed with the lights off, because then I could see and talk to my friend, the black cat, sitting halfway up the stairs. In my mind's eye, I can still see the cat now just sitting there, looking at me with its green eyes shining in the dark, as cat eyes do. If the lights were on, it wouldn't be there. My grandfather died soon after, and my father inherited the house. My grandfather had had a cat named Monty, and when I no longer saw the cat on the stairs, I assumed Monty had died. I continued living at the same house with my family until I left to go to college. Many years later, I was talking to my mother about my childhood, and she told me that it really used to freak her out that I always wanted to go up to bed in the dark when I was little. But being a good mother, she never told me that it scared her. I said I'd only wanted to do that so I could see grandfather's black cat Monty on the stairs every night. My mother looked shocked and said my grandfather's cat was a ginger and had died 3 years before I was born, and there were no cats in the house when I was a small child. Many other unexplained things happened while I lived there, but I will add them another time if anyone would like me to. Demon cat. This happened to my brother when I was 8 years old. My brother was 24 years old at the time. He worked as security in an office building all night long. Before I get into the story, I'll describe the setting. We had a lot of cats. It started with one cat, and then strays moved in. They multiplied, and we ended up with more than 10 cats. The place we lived was a duplex with a garage that turned into a house in the back, and a big yard in between. At night, the cats were a problem because they would always make a ruckus. My brother would sleep during the day and wake up around 10 p.m., when pretty much everybody in the household was asleep. Our bathroom had the sink next to a window, looking out towards the yard. As my brother was going through his bathroom routine, he feels that something is watching him. He thought it was nothing and just a figment of his imagination, until he looked outside. He saw a cat that was looking at him while sitting on top of one of the cars. He looked at it, and he said what struck him was that the eyes were glowing red. Again, it didn't concern him much because he figured that it was just a reflection that cat eyes normally give. He stared at it a bit more, and then it's when it happened. He said that as the cat stared back at him, a second head leaned out of the first one, and then a third one, all with the same glowing red eyes, and then looked away and jumped off the car. It's safe to say that it freaked him out. He went and woke up my parents and my oldest sister, and they went outside to see if they could see it. They couldn't find it. Here's the weird part. Out of all the cats we had, not one cat was in our backyard. It was as if we had no cats. He had never seen anything like this before or since, but he is convinced that it was a demon cat, if such a thing exists. My brother isn't the type to make things up, and the fact that he went to get my parents makes me believe that he did see something that night. He went to work that night, but nothing happened. He says that he felt that the air was heavy when he worked, but that was it. Any thoughts? Shadow cats. So far, the stories I've posted have been about things that happened to me in my childhood. This story, however, takes place only about 7 to 8 years ago, shortly after we moved into our present home, and is the only paranormal type event I've experienced in our present home. It was an autumn evening after dark, and I was just getting home from work. I got out of my car, struggling with my big purse, my lunch bag, and 2 or 3 plastic bags of groceries. I tried to get into the back door, but found my husband had accidentally hooked the screen door when he left that morning. So grumbling, I made my way around to the front door with my key. Now, the front door opens into the living room and dining room area, and you have to go through there to reach the den and the kitchen. I have 2 house cats that I do not allow to go into the living room or dining room because I don't want them throwing up on good rugs, as cats are prone to do. So the street lamp cast enough light for me to see, so I didn't bother with the light switch. Juggling with my purse and my groceries, I made my way through the front door, pushed open the wooden folding door to the den, and stuck out my foot in an effort to block the cats. I saw my big, black male cat dart nimbly past my leg and disappear into the shadows of the living room. I was irritated because I knew once he got by me, it was his habit to hide under the couch and make me drag him out. I quickly closed the door so the female couldn't follow him, made my way on into the kitchen to put down my stuff. But when I turned on the light, to my amazement, there stood both cats by their food dishes waiting to be fed. I know my cat did not double back because I would have seen him, and from past experiences, he wouldn't have done that anyways. He likes the game of hide and seek. He plays whenever he manages to break into the living room area. I thought it was a little strange, but regardless, I really didn't think too much about it. A few weeks later, I returned home from work again, about the same time with my big purse, lunch bag, and some plastic bags of groceries. This time, the back screen door leading to the screened-in back porch was unlocked, so I made my way through the porch and opened up the door to the house. As I struggled to get in, with all the stuff I had, I thought I saw my gray female cat this time, dart past me and out onto the back porch, just as the inside door slammed shut between us. "You'll be sorry when you realize I'm getting ready to feed you," I thought. But as I flipped on the light switch, I was amazed to see both the cats there waiting for me again. Something small and shadowy like a cat darted right past my legs twice in that house, and in two different locations. I have tried to rationalize this. I watched carefully and tried to recreate the experience, but I'm convinced this was not my imagination or a trick of the shadows. This has never happened to me again, nor has anything else out of the ordinary yet happened to us while living in our house.